All right, everyone. Today I'm doing the UFC's job because we have a very serious problem on our hands that we need to solve, and it is in the 155-pound division. We need to fix it. There's something wrong with this. There are so many people that are either asking for title shots. Don't even get me started at 145. I was going to make a video about Gene Silva and Yair and Ian Gary, all of them asking for title fights, but MMA Guru did it. Lucas Tracy did it. They said anything better than I could have possibly said on the matter. So we're going to do this video about fixing 155. It's a logjam right now. It's a real logjam right now. Now, the most important fight at 155 should be Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev. Now, I understand everyone saying, dude, Islam shouldn't fight him. He shouldn't. It's another 45er. Like, here, it's not, though, because all the guys Islam are fighting, you can say it's a 45er. He's fighting him at 55. You can't call Renato Moicano a fucking 45er when he was going into that fight on a massive win streak at 155. You can't call him a 45er. He weighs in more than Makhachev. I'm sorry, he walks around heavier than Makhachev. Alex Volkanovski went up to 155, fought him at 155. He's the best 145er of all time as seen. So you can't be like, that's just your casual 145er. He only fights featherweight. He fought the best guy in the fucking world, the number one pound for pound. He's also beaten Charles Oliveira. He used to fight at featherweight. But guess what? He made a career for himself at 55. So again, all those people saying that are ridiculous. It's only hurting the chances of us seeing a super fight, which I think it should be Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev, but I didn't make that fight in this video. I just don't think Islam's going to take it. Now, I know Ilya said, I won't fight anyone unless it's for the title. I think he's playing a little bit with the UFC, just making it seem like, dude, like, you better give me something good or guarantee me that I'm going to be in the mix. No one's fighting for the title unless I get a chance at it first. So, I think he's playing a little bit when he says that on Rogan. But a lot of people are saying this guy had one title defense, by the way, against Max Holloway, and he knocked him the fuck out. He knocked Max Holloway the fuck out, which no one else has done. He KO'd Volkanovski, the only guy to beat him at 145. I don't understand this, man. I really don't. I get where Topuria's coming from, bro. He's like, I had to vacate my 145-pound title because you guys probably promised him a title shot at 55. Hey, you want to go up and fight? Totally fine. You want to go fight for a belt? Yep, no problem. You got to vacate the belt. We can't hold up featherweight. He goes, you know what? I'm a good guy. I understand how this works. I'm going to vacate the featherweight title, get some hype around a new fight, let people fight for my title. Right? Because I'm giving it up. I'm going to 55. I'm not coming back down to 45. I'm not. So he gives it up. Admirable thing to do. Okay, you're going to go up and fight at 55. I don't understand why people are hating on Ilya for doing shit like that. Because what he just did, no one else, John Jones would never fucking do that. He's literally stalling out Aspinall's career as we speak. Because he doesn't want to vacate the belt and he doesn't want to fight Aspinall. I just don't like him, man. I don't like the nicest guy in the UFC not named Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I just don't like him, man. Why? Because he's been sitting there knocking everybody out, waiting for his chance to prove that he's the best, and you won't let it happen because he doesn't do anything for my legacy. Fuck no. What are you talking about? It does everything for your legacy. If you go out there and beat Tom Aspinall, you prove that you are better than Stipe in terms of heavyweight. You beat Tom Aspinall, that's something that no one else has done in the UFC other than Curtis Blades off of the knee getting blown out in the first 30 seconds of the fight. It's ridiculous, dude. That's the most legacy-defining win he would have other than the first DC fight because the second one was overturned to PEDs. But anyway, we're going to fix the 155 division, starting with what I think should be the number one contenders fight, Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. Put this on International Fight Week. Co-main event, 5 rounds. Let these two duke it out. Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. If Charles Oliveira beats Ilia, he gets a title shot. It's coming up to win against Chandler. Who cares? Chandler's booty cheeks. We always knew he's booty cheek. That's just not taking away from Patty's win because Patty beat him better than Oliveira did. But Chandler's little booty cheeks. And Ilia Topuria is the most deserving contender right now, honestly. He vacated his belt. He's undefeated. Do Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria. It's a sick matchup that's not only sells pay-per-views, but gives us a real number one contender. Another fight. that I think should be made that not a lot of people are talking. First of all, this fight just needs to happen, dude. Like, tell me this isn't insane of a fight. Another opportunity. Ilia Topuria is going to go knock out another fan favorite, or Charles Oliveira is going to absolutely pull off one of the craziest wins of the century. It's a sick fight. Oliveira always brings the fight. His grappling's very good. I think he can test Topuria a little bit in the grappling too. Topuria's boxing, insane. His power, nuts. The aura is insane. He's undefeated. The only guy that I would actually give a chance against Islam Makhachev. Arman has a chance, but like, we're going to get to Arman in a second. This is the fight that needs to be made. I say do it as the co-main on International Fight Week, bro. It's perfect. It would be perfect. Aspinall Jones or Dricus and Hamzat, whoever you put as the main event. Then do Ilia versus Charles. It's perfect. Moving on. Another matchup that I think should be made that no one's talking about this matchup, but I actually think it's a perfect fucking... With the way lightweight has spread out, it's interesting with how you do these matchups, because with how lightweight's gone and how it's going, it leaves you in a position, because you got Poirier who needs a fight. You know what? Let's get to the Poirier fight. Because let's not get to the Poirier. Poirier wants to fight a legend, so he kind of weeds out a lot of options. He wants to fight a legend in his last fight. I don't want to see Poirier fight Max. I'm going to be brutally honest. It's not going to be Max for Poirier for me, because even though they're looking at making that fight, Max is 0-2 against Poirier. I get they weren't the best circumstances, but like, I don't want to see that fight again. I don't. It would be a sick fight, yeah, but like, I just think there are other fights to make. Max is a legit contender at 55 now, coming off a Gaethje win. So I think the matchup you make, Arman Tsarukyan, Max Holloway, no one's talking about this. I think these two would fucking chirp it up at each other at the press conference. And this is one of those things where like, how is Max Holloway's takedown defense going to be against an elite grappler at 155? How is Arman going to hang in there with a volume striker in a 5-rounder? You should make this the main event of a fight night somewhere. Main event, Maui. Fuck it. Do this as a main event of a fight night somewhere. It would be sick. Give it its own shine. You can also put this as a 5-round co-main event on like the Louisiana card where you have Poirier fighting for his belt, or fighting his final fight. I think this would be sick. Holloway versus... You know what? That's what I'm going to do. The UFC 318 Louisiana co-main event 5 rounds. Max Holloway, Arman Tsarukyan. It's sick. This is a sick fight. If Max Holloway wins, he beats Arman Tsarukyan, you're like, oh my god, dude, he's so legit at 155. He's getting ready in the range for a title shot. Maybe another win because he is coming off a KO loss against Topuria, but at 55, he's 2-0 recently against Gaethje, a top contender. And then if he beat Arman Tsarukyan, it's sick. It's a great storyline. We get Holloway versus Islam. Oh, we didn't get Holloway versus Habib. Maybe we get Holloway versus Islam. Or Holloway's looking great again. He gets a fight against Charles Oliveira. He gets a fight against... I would avoid the Ilia Topuria fight until he gets 2 wins, but I'm just saying, like, this is a really good thing to come up. And I think Holloway's... Granted, do I think Topuria still beats Holloway? Yes. But I think Holloway's chances at 55 are much greater than they were at 45. Just saying. And Arman Tsarukyan, if he wins, it goes, boom, he beat Max Holloway, who beat Gaethje. He's back in for a title shot. Give him a title shot. Because this guy arguably should be fighting for the title right now. But the UFC's got to... I get the UFC making a point and being like, you're not pulling out day of the fight. I get the UFC just absolutely sticking it to Arman Tsarukyan for that bullshit. But, like, we need to see Arman in that mix because he is one of the top contenders right now. So it's just a name that we need to see in there. But if he beats Max Holloway, he's coming off wins over Charles Dubronx Oliveira, Benny Dariush, when Dariush was up there in the rankings, when he was like top 5, top 6, and then Max Holloway. Those are 3 ranked wins in a row that are really, really, really good. He also beat like Joaquim Silva, who's honestly not terrible. He beat Joel Alvarez, who's about to make it in the rankings. He finished him. We're going to move on. I think Pimlet versus Gaethje is the fight to make. Granted, you want to build Pimlet's name, right? You want him to be in the title picture. That's what the UFC wants. His jiu-jitsu is elite. Justin Gaethje, while he is one of my favorite fighters of all time, not my favorite, that's my boy Volk, Justin Gaethje's jiu-jitsu is very lackluster. You can absolutely tie him in a pretzel. He almost got reverse triangled by fucking Rafael Fiziev. I just don't think Fiziev knows how to do a reverse triangle. It's the only reason why he didn't get it. This is an opportunity for Paddy to prove himself against a top guy like Justin Gaethje, former BMF champ, coming off a win over Fiziev, one of the baddest dudes in the division, one of the hardest hitters in the division, one of the best strikers in the division. If Paddy Pimblett goes out there and beats Justin Gaethje, it's like, damn. And it's a winnable matchup for Paddy, too. He can literally get, if he can get Gaethje, if him and Gaethje end up on the ground, Paddy's going to sub him. He is. Paddy's jiu-jitsu is insane. And Gaethje's is so lackluster. Now, in the striking, I give Gaethje the advantage in terms of aggression, power, technique, all of it. But I do think Paddy has some pop, and I think he's unorthodox enough where, like, Gaethje's going to have to figure him out for a second. And then once Gaethje gets dialed in the striking, I think it could be a hard day for Paddy. But if Gaethje goes in, I bet you can look at Gaethje and be like, dude, Gaethje, we're going to give you a bag for this fight. You're going to fight Paddy Pimblett. And if you win, fine, you get a title shot. And your name's fucking hyped. Like, you get a ton of money for this fight, and you build your name off of Paddy Pimblett. You can be the one guy to beat Paddy Pimblett in the UFC. That's marketable. You want to be the only guy to see if he can knock out a Scouser? For how much? $2 million? Yeah, I do. For $2 million to show? Yeah, 100%. $5 million? Like, honestly, like, give Gaethje the bag for this. $2.5 million. Fight Paddy Pimblett. Fuck it. Like, do it. I just... Gaethje makes a ton already, and you know this fight is guaranteed a fucking fight of the night. You just know it is. Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje, that's the fight that needs to be made 100%. It's winnable for Pimblett. Gets him where the UFC would want to be if he wins, would want him to be if he wins. And it's something that Gaethje should honestly take. Like, you lost to Max, yes. You beat Poirier before that, yeah. But, like, other than that, now we're looking at a spot where you've lost to Charles Oliveira, who's above you. If you fight Topuria, we can set up you and Topuria, and we can do Paddy and Charles instead. That would be sick. But, like, do you really want to go in there and fight Topuria versus take your chances with Paddy Pimblett? Because I think Topuria slumps Gaethje immediately. I do. Gaethje's very, very hittable. And Topuria cracks people. I think he has a better chance with Paddy. Maybe you give him the Poirier, but this is the way I'm kind of mixing it all out. And then Poirier, his next fight, he wants a legend. He's going to want a guy that's marketable for him. I think this is the fight. They had such a good fight 4 years ago. 4 years ago, they had one of the best fights I've ever seen. The best round I've ever seen in my life was round 2 of Poirier versus Hooker. Poirier versus Hooker 2. Main event in the Louisiana card. Co-main Holloway versus Arman. That's a sick card, and that's one that doesn't need a title on the line to sell it. It's not. If you do main event 5 rounds, Hooker versus Poirier 2. Co-main event, Holloway versus Sarukian, 5 rounds. You sprinkle in someone else in Louisiana. You put Derek Lewis on a Louisiana card. You put a couple other guys on there. Who else would be from Louisiana? Fucking, I don't even know. But you put some other fun matchups on there. That's going to sell a pay-per-view. Like, that will. So, I think this is a sick fight to make. It's exactly what Poirier's looking for. And it's a name that Hooker's going to be willing to take. If Hooker was willing to fight Gaethje, he's going to be willing to fight Poirier. Going to maybe want that one back after he had such a good close fight with him the first time. Went absolute war. It's going to be... Poirier gets his legend against a guy that he respects. I'd say, like, you could do a Colby fight, but he doesn't respect Colby enough, and he's not going to fight Colby. You could do Poirier versus Hooker. It gives him the legend. It's a respectable guy that he loves, he trusts, like he's been in the octagon with. It's a guaranteed firefight of a war, and it's winnable for him in Louisiana, and it's going to sell. Then you have Dan Hooker. You're getting a guy up in the rankings that you would kind of want to fight. So I'd say Hooker-Poirier is a great matchup to make. It fits everything. Now we're going to move down to some of the other parts in lightweight, some of the fights that need to kind of set up what's going to be the future of the division. But as far as the 4 that I just listed, those are the 4 in the mix right now that need to be, because you're going to start to have them filter out, right? You're going to have Poirier filter out. Hooker's even not far behind. He really isn't far behind Poirier. Max is now up in the division, so that helps. Charles, again, getting old. He's probably got a couple more in him. Gaethje's going to be gone soon. So you're going to have, like, specifically Poirier and Gaethje. Those are two names that are going to be filtered out very, very soon. Holloway's going to stick around for a little bit. Oliveira's and Hooker are kind of on the same trajectory where they're not going to go out as early as I think Gaethje and Poirier do. But I think they're going to be not extremely long after, 2 years after maybe, a year after, something like that. And then you're going to need these new names in the division, so why don't you set them up? And I guess Moicano versus Gamrot makes sense to me. I get they both fight at ATT. I really do. Moicano's also probably on the same as like the... But I can see Moicano fight until he's 40. That's the other thing, is like, I can see him just being a gatekeeper until he's 40. Like a top 10 gatekeeper. I can see it. So I think Moicano versus Gamrot makes sense. It's just the two guys kind of getting left out a lot in this situation in the division because there are some matchups already made that I will show you in a moment. But I think it makes sense. Gamrot versus Moicano. It's a good stylistic matchup. Both guys are very, very good at grappling. Moicano's Muay Thai is very good. His kicks specifically are good. His jab's good. Gamrot does have power. He does have pop. But I'd be interested to see how this fight goes because Gamrot can wrestle really well. Moicano can wrestle really well. And he also has tremendous jiu-jitsu. So this is like a number 8 ranked versus the number 10 ranked guy in the division. I think it's a perfect fight to make. I really do. I think Moicano Gamrot's the one you got to make right here. It's perfect. It is absolutely perfect. And fucking dude, you want to fucking make Gamrot fun? You give him a guy that can compete with him in the grappling and someone that's going to hype up the fight. You want to get Gamrot's name going? You give him someone that's going to talk shit all fight. He keeps getting the Dan Hooker, who's like, again, a fun fight style, but he's not yapping in the press conference and shit like that against a guy like Gamrot. He'd yap against like Arman. You give him Jalen Turner, who has no personality at all. Benny Dariush, again, love Benny Dariush, but no personality at all. It's just, you're giving him a lot of these boring guys. RDA, like, a legend, but won't say shit. Like, you give him Moicano, if Gamrot wins here, which I hope he doesn't, because I love Moicano, but if you give him Gamrot, if Gamrot gets Moicano, it's just going to build hype around his name if he does inevitably get the win. So, I think Gamrot-Moicano is the matchup to make. Next up, one that we all know is going to happen, one that we all want to see, sadly, but it's time. Beneil Dariush, man, it's over. Mauricio Rufy versus Beneil Dariush. You just know the UFC is going to do this fight. You know it's going to happen. I think it should happen soon. Same with, I didn't give a time frame for the Moicano Gamrot one, but you can make that a fucking fight night main event. Actually, Moicano fucking pay-per-view only, honestly. Pay-per-view only for Moicano. Feature fight of... Honestly, feature fight of the fucking Louis... No, because you can't have Gamrot and Poirier on the same card, because then it's going to be like the three buddies all together. Gamrot, Moicano, yeah. You know what? Maybe you do Gamrot versus Moicano on the International Fight Week. Make it a feature fight. If you had Gamrot Moicano International Fight Week feature fight, and then you had... you obviously have Kopp versus Royval on that card. You have Paulo Costa, Roman Kopylov, which shouldn't be on the main card. That should be the prelim headliner, but they're going to put it on the main card because Costa makes a bunch of money. So if it's Kopylov Costa opening up the card, fourth fight, Kopp versus Royval, feature fight, Moicano versus Gamrot, co-main event, 5 rounds, Ilia Topuria, Charles Oliveira. Main event, Dricus Hamzat. That's a fucking sick International Fight Week card. Sick card. And then you have Rufy versus Dariush. Honestly, they're going to want to put this on International Fight Week. This might be the International Fight Week fight. Maybe, but put it as a fucking prelim headliner, honestly. Or move Costa. Honestly, the best thing you can do is move Costa and Kopylov down to the feature prelim, put this the main card opener, Dariush, Rufy. It's a sick fight. And it's one of those ones where, like, Dariush, you want to be the guy to derail the hype. Since Dariush, we know, is not getting a title fight. He's lost a bunch in a row now. He lost to Charles, he lost to Arman, both in a row. Gonna be out of a title shot at this point. You get Rufy, you get the chance to derail the hype train. We'll give you a bunch of money for it. You're going to be on a pay-per-view. And then you have Rufy saying, hey, you get your chance to jump up in the rankings. This is the fight to make. Rufy called him out. Dariush, it's time to kind of defend that spot against a real up-and-coming guy. So I think that's the one to make. The next one has already been made. This is happening in Azerbaijan. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Rafael Fiziev. I actually really would have liked Fiziev to go down to featherweight. I think it would have made a lot more sense. Would have helped strengthen that division, and then in turn it would have helped strengthen the lightweight division because we would have had some new names in there. So, but this fight's happening in Azerbaijan. So I think it's going to be a great fight. Bahamondes Fiziev's already happening. Sick fight. This fight's also already happening. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Joel Alvarez. No easy fights for Benoit Saint-Denis. This is a sick one happening in Canada. I think they're making this like the main card opener somehow. Ridiculous. And they took Burns off of that card. God forbid we absolutely stack a card anymore, right? We have to space out the good fights. You can't, if you're going to make us pay $80 for a pay-per-view, you can't make it too good, right? You have to have Grasso on the main card when she's not even in a title fight. Okay, 2 chick fights on the main card. Disgraceful. Moving on, because this one's already happening. That kind of leaves just a couple guys left. I got a few more matches. It's really 2 more matchups that I want to talk about. I think Grant Dawson for Essiam makes a ton of sense. I do. I think at some point you're going to have this fight made. I honestly think this is going to happen in France. If you did this one in France, co-main event for Essiam, Grant Dawson, it's a sick fight. They probably won't even make it a fucking co-main. They probably won't. You put this on the main card of the France card, it's a sick fight. Grant Dawson for Essiam. If you can do it earlier, great. Put it on the main, on the main card of some fight night coming up soon. Honestly, this would be sick. Grant Dawson for Essiam. For Essiam deserves a jump in the rankings. Grant Dawson deserves to be in the rankings. He deserves to be higher than where he is in the rankings, but I don't know. These are the 2 guys that are kind of like dark horses in the division right now that no one really wants to fight. Let's just see who wins. And then lastly, Chandler versus Rebecki. Listen, Chandler, you just got to feed him to the wolves, man. I think Chandler and Rebecki makes for a sick, sick fight. Chandler, meat muscle dude. Pause. And Rebecki's fucking yoked too. Short little yoked guy. Same with Chandler. Both guys have insane power in their punches. Insane physiques. Good strong wrestling. I give the BJJ edge to Rebecki for sure. But this would be an absolute barn burner of a fight. Put this on the main card of any pay-per-view. This is a fucking barn burner guarantee. Chandler versus Rebecki. This is how you fix 155. Let me know if I cooked in this one, because I think I did. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. These are the fights you got to make. 100% UFC, fix 155, and I just gave you the absolute path on how to do it.